Hello guys, today we'll be learning to do best chocolate drips for a cake. So in this video I'll be showing you my favorite way of doing it. In future videos I'll also show you other popular ways the drips are made as well. For this method you'll be needing chocolate, fresh cream, a microwavable bowl. If you don't have a microwavable bowl then you will need a heavy bottom saucepan and a spatula for it. So let's get started with making perfect drips. So take 100 grams of chocolate and 100 grams of cream. Take the cream and microwave it for about 30 to 40 seconds, or you can heat it on your stove till it boils. Once you heat the cream, just transfer the cream into the bowl of chocolate so that the heat of the cream is transferred to the chocolate and chocolate starts melting. For this you will have to wait for some time. So once you pour cream onto chocolate, leave it for about a minute or two so that the chocolate melts on its own. Then start stirring with your spatula. After 1 to 2 minutes, start stirring consistently and continuously. Don't be too vigorous, you don't want it to spill all over your workplace. But it does take a little time for every bit of chocolate to melt and emulsify into ganache. Once you emulsify it properly, the ganache should look smooth, shiny and in a flowing consistency. Like you can see in this picture, it's flowing but it's not like water, it is a little thicker in consistency. So that's what you're looking for. Now we'll be creating drips on the cake. For this you can use a piping bag, squeezy bottle or just a simple spoon like I used here. Just take a little bit of ganache in your spoon and start dripping it over the cake little by little. At places where you want smaller drips, drip a little quantity. Where you want longer drips, you can put larger quantity of it so that it drips down well. Once your dripping is finished, pour a little of extra ganache on the top and start spreading it with a spatula so that it mixes to the edges and it looks like the drip is even and it has actually dripped on itself and you haven't made it. Here's your perfect drip. Once your drip is done, you can decorate your cake as you please. You can use your draggies, you can use piping techniques, you can place your toppers, anything which looks appealing and aesthetic to you. Now we'll be making color drips. For color drips, the process is the same. We use 125 grams of white chocolate and 100 grams of cream. We microwave or heat the cream like we did prior and then we emulsify it. We will add a little gel color to the ganache as we please. You can use a gel color or a paste color or even powder colors as required. Once you add color and emulsify everything properly, you will be getting this kind of a smooth, textured, flowing consistency ganache which is glossy. Now we follow the same method for this cake as we did on the previous cake. We start dripping with the spoon a little by little till our drips are pleased. In this case I am using the drips to be closer than what I had dripped for the prior cake. I want drips to look closer, so I'll be dripping them very closely. So you can also adjust the distance between each drip while you're doing this dripping process. Once the top is looking smooth and nice, I will start piping on that. I love this way of making swirls with 1mm built-in tip, I guess. Yeah, it should be 1mm. I like this little swirls, so I'm going to take ahead that design today. best thing about drips is you can get as messy as you can. Coming to few tips I want to give you for best drips. First one is you can always use compound chocolate or caramels or imitation chocolate for making drips instead of couverture, which I have used here. It doesn't make a big difference, but somehow I prefer using couvertures. The second thing is you will have to emulsify your ganache properly. Take your time, be patient, and emulsify your ganache as thoroughly as possible. Third thing, this happens a lot in cold weathers. While you're emulsifying itself, the ganache turns a little hard, as in the consistency is not as flowing as you want it to be. So just pop that bowl into microwave or heat it on warm water bath or whatever, but you want that consistency to be there while you're dripping. Don't make sure you check the consistency before you start dripping. Even in between, if you have to, do heat it again and get back to that. Then the third one is how to store it. You can just store it in a airtight box in your fridge for up to a week. If you're using a freezer, then it stays good for 3 months. Once you bring it out of a fridge or freezer, let it sit for about an hour or so at room temperature. You don't want to immediately microwave it. You will have issues of oil coming out from your ganache, oil separating from the ganache. You don't want that to happen. And fifth thing is, once you drip the cake, you want to set it in fridge for at least 10 minutes if in case you're planning to paint those strips. I see a lot of people asking about this golden drips. They're not gold while you drip it. We paint it in gold. So for such cases, you want to set the drip to harden for at least 10 minutes in the fridge. Once they harden, you can paint them with a luster dust and dilute that luster dust with lemon extract, alcohol, vodka, evaporex, whatever you use to do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a like, thumbs up, share, comment, like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you get update of what interesting videos I put next. Thank you so much guys. Love you all. Ajita signing off.